Mima. The boys call me Mima and Jamie Papa. I know, those titles seem corny and unsophisticated and as old as the hills. I couldn't care less. Whenever one of our grandchildren calls me that, I feel like a queen. Preston is the more sensitive of the two. He is a tender-hearted little boy who seems more affected by the chaos and the uncertainty in his life. He seems to get sick a bit more than Jaden, who has a horse constitution. He loves cars just like my daddy did. Jaden, who was born 1 year and 2 days after his big brother on September 14, 2006, is both a sweetie and a toughie. Jaden is a happy little guy. Somehow, he seems to have a built-in toughness to combat all the comings and goings and flashbulbs and strange people yelling his name. From day one, this has been his lot in life. Jaden does not know anything different. Britney and Kevin didn't plan Jaden, and he was a surprise to us all. When she found out she was pregnant, I had a piece of advice from my own experience for her. Surprise babies are the ones you know are supposed to be here, I said. They are the Lord's plan and not ours. God knew Preston would need a constant companion and a built-in best friend. Someone who would completely understand how it could be strange and normal all at once to live in their unique circumstances. Even if they can't leave the house because people are trying to take their picture, those boys will always have each other. When I am with them, we play at their sand and water table for hours. We go for walks, play with trucks, and climb to the playground equipment. We roll around on the ground and wrestle, with me blowing raspberries on their little tummies and them squealing in the light. Usually the three of us end up in a heap of giggles. Those boys are my heart. On September 12, 2007, amid balloons and party decorations, Kevin, Jamie, and I, Preston and Jaden, and some other family members held hands in a circle while a special man named Looney blessed our birthday meal of jambalaya and shrimp fettuccine, cooked by Chef Papa. It was the boys' first and second birthday party, a joint event meant to celebrate both of their milestones. Lonnie is a deacon who teaches regularly at his church. Often he can be found sitting at a table with his Bible and his commentaries and his notebooks spread out, studying God's Word. He's a huge guy with keen instincts and the heart of a protector. And for all of the above reasons, I am so grateful his job is to be Preston and Jaden's bodyguard. Lonnie is very intimidating in both his looks and his bearing, and I have no doubt whatsoever that he would lay down his life to protect my grandsons. He loves those boys with all his heart. That man is an angel, another gift from God to this grandmother, who worries about her little ones and the dangers they face in their surreal world. Lonnie's presence in their home feels, to me, like a conduct of God's protection and security over them. Another grace channel is Lourdes, Britney's maid for the last 2 years. That wonderful woman loves the Lord, and she is there for Britney and the boys when I cannot be. They all adore her, as I do. Their papa and me. Jamie went into rehab in 2004 and has been sober for 4 years. I am proud of his sobriety and happy for all of us that he is no longer drinking. Today he is walking with the Lord and in some ways is a different, renewed man. We have been through so much together, both before and after our divorce. During the turbulence of the last couple of years, sometimes it seemed as if he was the only friendly fish swimming with me in a sea of predators. When one of our children is going through something, we are on the phone constantly or else in person, talking things through. In the mid in the midst of Britney's difficult summer of 2007, when she and I were at the peak of our estrangement, Jamie and I spent a lot of time together, hashing over our problems with her, grasping at possible solutions, and sometimes just sitting quietly and thinking. In some ways, we are on the same plane more than anyone else. After all, we both love that girl and her siblings more than anyone else in the world. Of course, we still fight like a married couple sometimes too. We know just how to push each other's buttons, which is why I think we are probably won't get remarried to each other. People ask me if our kids would be happy if we did, and the answer is no. Years ago, after we split up, Britney told a magazine that our divorce was the best thing that ever happened to our family. She lived through the palpable tension and the screaming matches throughout her growing up years. So did Brian and Jamie Lynn until she was 8 years old. No one wants to see a repeat of that. But then, on the other hand, we have changed as people. With wrinkles and gray hair, Jamie's not mine, have come extra grace and maturity and willingness to be there for each other in a way we never were when we were married. I will always care about him, just as he will always care about me. What really gets to me about Jamie is how smitten he is with those grandbabies of ours. It softens my heart to adore him whenever I see him with Preston and Jaden. When it comes to them, he is a great big marshmallow. I think it may come as a surprise to the boys when they realize someday that Mima and Papa are actually divorced. We spend so much time with them in grandparenting mode. When we are in LA, it is quite common for Jamie and me to visit the boys at Britney's house. I'll be in the pool with Preston and Jaden, and Jamie will be grilling something, and then we might all go for a walk. We are much better co-grandparents than we ever were as co-parents. The boys' reality. One time, Jamie and I were going to take the boys on an outing to see a dinosaur exhibit not far from where they live with their daddy. This was something we all had looked forward to, and I couldn't wait to see the look on their faces when they saw those dinosaurs. But when the day of the outing came, and we went to pick up the boys at Kevin's house, we couldn't go. There were paparazzi everywhere, swarming like an infestation of bugs. I told a friend of mine that the outing had not gone off as planned. The paparazzi were too bad, I said. She looked at me, dumbfounded. Lynn, you take it sound as if the mosquitoes were too thick and you couldn't go to the lake or something. That's exactly how I felt about it too. It breaks my heart that Preston and Jaden will probably have many occasions to be disappointed because they can't be like other boys and move freely in their world, at least not for the foreseeable future. They won't. But this is the life they were born into. Strange, isn't it? How all the money in the world does not make up for the fact that they can take a walk with their Mima and Papa without being photographed. And sometimes they can even leave the house at all. I wish I could protect them from the cruel world, but Preston and Jaden will have to learn to adjust to their very unique way of life. I want to tell them, baby, this is your reality. There are so many people looking at you, and it may seem so strange sometimes, but because people are always going to watch you so closely, you have the chance to do a lot of good in this life. I believe kids take their cues from the adults who love them. When you accept as true that things are going to be okay, no matter what, that attitude is conveyed from your spirit to theirs. That's what I have faith in anyway. I want to teach Preston and Jaden through my encouraging smile and hopeful attitude that they will be okay. Most of all, I want them to know that no matter the circumstances, I would swim through shark-infested waters, literally and figuratively, to get to them. But if for some reason I can't be with them, God is always by their sides. I hope someday they believe and live from that truth.